Hey, what is up, everybody? This is the great Puckettini, and what I got for today is I've heard a lot about Coach Pat Fitzgerald, formerly from Northwestern University, as a name that's come up and has even interviewed with Hunter Yurachek for the Arkansas position. And I've even heard Hunter Yurachek say that, well, he's thinking he wants to hire a defensive minded coach and then hire a good offensive coordinator. I think that's a bad idea. Hunter Yurachek, I don't know if he knows what he's doing half the time. I totally disagree. I think Bobby Petrino is the man. He is the person for us that we need to hire, and then we need to spend all this money that we're supposedly going to be getting from all these donors, and we need to get that and pay players with it. And Bobby Petrino knows how to build a team. Look at the offense he built. They're still the fifth best offense in the SEC, and they were a top five offense in the country before, we changed coaches and everything, and it has gone crazy. And remember, we're playing like the third toughest schedule in the country. And Coach Petrino has come in and pulled these guys together, and we've had chances to beat A&M, probably one of the top teams in the country, Tennessee. My goodness, and there's others too. I just can't think right now off the top of my head. But anyway, he's held these guys together, and we've had chances to win. Should have won. Remember the great Memphis Tigers? We had them beat outside of the terrible pass interference call, one of the worst calls ever. And then we're trying to run the clock out, and we fumble the ball. We're just trying to run it out and then kick the field goal and win it. Ridiculous. So anyway, we should have won that game too. But anyway, this is why Bobby Petrino is a better fit for Arkansas than Pat Fitzgerald. This is a head coaching comparison of SEC readiness. And I want to start off just by saying, too, remember Pat Fitzgerald was fired from Northwestern. They say, no, now he's been cleared of any wrongdoing. Was the players were hazing people. Hazing is against the law. It's done in fraternities and sororities, and that is against the law. And his players were hazing people. Now, he says, of course, he had no idea of it. Well, if you didn't, you should have. You're the head coach of the place. I mean, who is in charge of it? Coach Fitzgerald? And they try to say, oh, he's disciplined, tough. He's a defensive coach. Yeah, whatever. His players were hazing people. That is against the law. And he says, oh, I didn't know it. Well, you're guilty by not knowing. Who wants to send their kid for him? And that might go on. Come on, that's pretty serious stuff. That's not something you just joke about. There's been a lot of fraternities and sororities disbanded because of hazing, and it probably still goes on, but there's no need for it. That's the stupidest thing ever, and that's what his guys were doing, and that was part of the reason he was fired. But anyway, this is comparing Bobby Petrino and Pat Fitzgerald for records, offensive success, SEC fit, their recruiting, and their resume. So let's check it out. Now, first off, Bobby Petrino is 137 and 71 overall. That's a 66% winning percentage, which is really good, especially where he's coached. He has a 5-6 bowl record. Pat Fitzgerald is 110 and 101, and that's all at Northwestern, I believe. Now, these numbers are hard to come by, so if I mess something up, I very well may have. I tried to do the best I could on this. I've worked on it for 2 days. He won 52% of his games, 5-5 bowl record, and I would argue that the Big Ten back when he was coaching was not as strong as it is now. I definitely think the SEC was stronger when Coach Petrino was at Arkansas than the Big Ten was when Coach Fitzgerald was there. So Petrino has more wins, a better winning percentage, and more consistent success than Fitzgerald has. Petrino has 4 AP top 25 finishes. I hope that's correct. His highest was AP number 5 in 2011 with Arkansas. He had his number 5 in the country, guys. Come on, he can do it again. He has a BCS bowl win. I think that was with Louisville. That's huge, taking Louisville to a BCS bowl and then winning it. Louisville's decent this year, but they never were much before Coach Petrino got there. He kind of woke them up, and then he went back to Louisville like he's trying to do here at Arkansas, and he won big again. He did have the one bad year in 2018, I think it was, when his dad passed away, and he was very close with his dad. I've heard him speak about him. I was a head high school coach here in Arkansas when he was there, and I heard him speak several times, and he talked very fondly of his dad and really looked up to him. And he says he really had a bad year, having to deal with that, and they really struggled that season, didn't do as good as he should have, and he says that. Now, Fitzgerald had four top 25s. That's good. Best finish was number 10 in 2020. Playing in a weaker conference, you compare SEC Big Ten back at that time, SEC was way much better. Petrino's coached multiple 10-win seasons at multiple schools, so he's had continued success across 2 or 3 conferences and just done really well at all of them. He's a winner, and he wants to beat Arkansas, and that's who we need. And then pay him about what we were paying Petrino, and then about what we were paying Pittman, and then take that money and buy players with it. He don't have to have a great defensive coordinator. I'll show you his defensive teams were pretty good. I mean, they were about average. And if he's got a top offense, you can win. You can win with that. Now, his SEC experience does matter. It does. Petrino went 21-5 in his final 2 seasons at Arkansas when he finally got things turned around there, 2010, 2011. I mean, 21-5. I think that's our best 2-year stretch ever in the history of the program, I believe. He beat LSU, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, and South Carolina. He knows how to beat these teams. He's almost beat them this year with this dumpster fire he's taken over. He almost beat LSU. Could have beat Texas A&M. Should have beat Mississippi State. Hadn't played South Carolina this year, but anyway, Fitzgerald has never coached in the SEC as a position coach or anything. He has been in a totally different environment than what he's going to face at Arkansas. Trust me. Petrino knows Arkansas's culture and our recruiting footprint. Where can we go recruit? What type of players do we have to recruit to be good in the SEC? Now, the offensive identity and quarterback success, because, it's got to start with offense. It's got to. I don't think Arkansas can recruit elite players and put them on defense. I just don't think it can happen. Now, Petrino has consistent top 10 offenses. He developed Lamar Jackson, Ryan Mallett, Brian Brom. Remember, the Atlanta Falcons hired him, of all the people in the world, all the coaches, to come work with Michael Vick. But Vick got in trouble with dogfighting, and they never was able to work together. This is a quarterback coach, and he got Taylon Green, guys, and didn't have to pay him big money. Picked him out of everywhere in the country, and look how good he's made him. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate. If Arkansas was able to win any games, and I think if they would have kept Pittman and kept them together, that he probably would get a chance to win the Heisman. I think we would have won some more games than we have. But anyway, Fitzgerald is a defensive coach. His offenses have often struggled at Northwestern. They really did. And Arkansas fans, I think we demand the offense. Petrino delivers that. Think about the fans. How many fans were there and cheering and excited because we're scoring points and in the game. Our fans will awaken when you're scoring offense and you're in games. You'll wake up the giant again. Now, think back to Brett Bielema. He was the big time coming from Wisconsin, coach of the year. He was defensive coordinator. He was the head coach at Wisconsin, come to Arkansas. And the fans really, he had pretty good offenses, but they always said he was too conservative, and he believed in defense and running the football. And Petrino believes in that too, but he's going to score points, and that's what Arkansas fans want. And you talk about money and ticket sales. You have a high-powered offense like we had there early, and we still have pretty good. The fans will come and they'll be there. And if you're in games, have chances to win and win some of them, because Coach Petrino will find defensive players going to play hard. I'm telling you, listen to what the players say about him. I wish y'all could have heard last night Wyatt Simmons, who I've been calling all year, should be playing more. All year he should be playing more, and he's finally getting a little playing time. He was on that radio show last night, him and Cash Courtney, and they were both talking about how great Coach Petrino is. And, you should listen to the players and what they say about him. But Arkansas fans demand offense. A defensive coach, it's just not going to work because we're not going to get good enough players to play that defense you think you're going to be able to do. It's not going to work, guys. Now, recruiting comparison. Petrino has recruited Arkansas, Texas, all these SEC regions effectively. He knows where he can go to get players. Fitzgerald is up in the Midwest, guys. He was recruiting these guys with high academic profiles that had to get into Midwestern. Guess what? These guys that we're recruiting down here are not going to get into Northwestern. It's a total different athlete. Totally different than what Fitzgerald is used to. He's going to have to hire a whole new staff, guys that might have a clue, or they're going to have to learn it, and you're going to stink for a year or two because he's not going to know what type of players he needs. He's not going to know it. Petrino's approach better lines with Arkansas's talent pipeline, the pipeline that we have where we can go recruit. He knows what he needs to win offensively and defensively, and you don't have to go out and pay for a big defensive coordinator. That's not true. It's not true. We need to pay better players. Follow what Texas Tech did. Now, final verdict, and I have some more stuff here in a minute, but hire Bobby Petrino. Proven SEC success and national top 5 finishes. He did it with Arkansas. Better winning percentage, offensive identity. He fits Arkansas's culture and recruiting territory. Pat Fitzgerald is a strong coach. I'm not saying he is. It's just not for Arkansas. He needs to go Midwest, where he's from and where he knows. But not the right fit for the SEC or Arkansas. He's not. He's not the right fit. He's not. Now, I showed this. I tried to make this table, man. I really worked on this a lot. Some of these numbers, I couldn't get all the years. You see it kind of skips here and there. Tried to work this in the best I could. It's really hard when you got total offense, scoring offense, and it's really hard to keep up. I try to focus on the total offense there. But you look, this is under Pat Fitzgerald. Look at his offense. It's 87th, 75th. He did have a 47th, 120th. 57th, 129th, 93rd. I mean, offenses were not good. His offenses struggled. Even in the 10-3 season right here in 2015, they had the 120th best offense, guys. And he's not playing the number 3 schedule in the country. He's not. And this offenses he has, they're not going to do good in the SEC, guys. They're not. He's going to play the 3rd best schedule in the country, and they're going to get whooped. He's just not going to be ready for it, guys. He's not. Now, look at Bobby Petrino's offenses, and I tried to do this best I could. You see a lot of top 10, top 5. 95th in his first year at Arkansas, 2008. That was the rebuild. And then he went 20th, 25th, 30th. That's at Western Kentucky. I mean, they were big-time offense the year or two he was there. Missouri State, he was good there too. And then you look over here at the scoring offense, 9th, 14th, 15th, top 5. I mean, it's hard to figure these out. It's really hard to look all that stuff up. But anyway, you just see their offenses. Bobby Petrino's are always pretty efficient and pretty good. And you think back, people are wearing him out about LSU. Man, we should have scored. Dadgum, we get down there in the 1 and running back slips and falls down. He should have walked in. I mean, golly, you can't carry him across. I mean, we score there, probably win the stinking game. We trip and fall at the goal line. Come on now. All right, here's Pat Fitzgerald's defenses, and I tried to look these up and be as good as I could. 55th, 20th, 35th, 13th, 15th, 25th, 5th, 105th, 100th. So he's had pretty good defenses, but his offenses have been in the toilet, and you are not going to be able to live on defense in Arkansas. I'm telling you, you're not going to get the players that can slow down these high-powered SEC offenses. You better be able to score too, and you better have a decent defense that can stop them, or as good as you can get. But you are not going to live on your defense. I promise you, you're not going to do it. You're not going to be able to do it in the SEC. The only ones that can do it are the Blue Bloods, Alabama, Georgia. They're the ones that can get those elite players that you have to play that good defense. We're not going to be able to get them in Arkansas unless we get a whole bunch of money like Texas Tech did and put money into it. That's why I say you get Coach Petrino. Hopefully you can get him for about what you paid Pittman. Take all that extra money, Buy players. Coach Petrino knows the players he needs to win. He knows it. Pat Fitzgerald does not. All right, here's Coach Petrino's defenses. Look at 35th, 25th, 54th, 35th, 25th, 6th, 20th down here. You know, you look and you compare. Things going crazy. I'm getting ahead of myself. Right here, you compare Bobby Petrino's defenses to Pat Fitzgerald's offenses. Petrino's defenses were much better. So you got to look. You're getting a really good offense and defense that are in the 30s, 40s, 50s. You get Pat Fitzgerald. He's got really good defenses at Northwestern, but he's not going to have them at Arkansas. And then his offenses were horrible. It's a no-brainer. Bobby Petrino is much better. Much better. Now, let's look at these defensive-minded coaches in the SEC. You know, well, first off, you got Nick Saban, Kirby Smart. We need to throw those out the door. Those are your two blue bloods that can recruit these really good players and put them on defense. Usually we get really good players because they want to play offense and not defense. You know, that's usually what we end up getting at Arkansas. So you put them in offense and do the best you can on defense. Now, Mark Stoops, 77 and 73. Okay, yeah, you know, Will Muschamp, supposed to be the best defensive guy ever, 54 and 46. Jeremy Pruitt, 16 and 19. I mean, you know, and I thought I had some more on this slide, but I can't. It goes to the next one. So anyway, you know, you look there, and I remember Derek Mason. I have him on there too. He was a defensive coordinator, went to Vanderbilt, and he got whooped. His record was horrible. You know, you look at Clark Lee, who's at Vanderbilt now. What's he living on? His offense, the quarterback. That's what you got to win with, not a defense. You're not going to get defensive players you need to do that. All right, so this shows you here, defensive-minded coaches, we don't need a defensive-minded coach. We want to win. Okay, don't need it. Let's look at the offensive-minded coach. You know, Steve Spurrier, the grandfather, 228 and 89 at Florida and South Carolina. Lane Kiffin, 54 and 19. Josh Heupel, 71 and 26. Hugh Freeze was 39 and 25 at Ole Miss. Auburn, he just never got it going there. I just think they put too many. They didn't want him, I don't think. And just first chance he had, they were going to get rid of him. Never really could get his offense established there. Jimbo Fisher, 45 and 25 at Texas A&M. You know, Dan Mullen, 103 and 61 at Mississippi State and Florida. Although I think he won a lot of those games on coattails of other people. But anyway, you see the offensive coaches. Look at Missouri. Drinkwitz, you know, he's an offensive guy, winning there. You got to have the offense. You got to be able to score, and then you put as best defense you can. That's what it's going to take at Arkansas to get back in that playoff, get up in the top of the SEC West, and then have a chance in the playoffs. You got to have a really good offense and the best defense you can. Offensive-minded coach is the way to go. Bobby Petrino is the man to get. Here's the final verdict right here. Petrino versus Fitzgerald. Bobby Petrino is the better fit for Arkansas based on the following points. Proven offensive track record with multiple top 10 offenses, even this year. SEC experience and a top 5 national finish at Arkansas. He's done it before. He's developed high-level quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Ryan Mallett, Brian Brom. I think you could put Talon Green on there, even though I think Talon's hurt right now. Talon runs a little bit too much and gets banged up. And if they were winning better, I think he'd be one of them. They're talking about the Heisman, you know. Petrino's done a great job of building him up, making him better. Strong recruiting in the SEC territory where he's going to recruit, not Fitzgerald, who has no clue. Comparable or stronger defenses than Fitzgerald during key seasons. You know, when they had their best seasons at Arkansas and other places, he had a comparable defenses to Fitzgerald. But guess what? Fitzgerald's teams were defense first, but often struggled mightily on offense. Okay? No prior SEC experience and limited explosive seasons for Fitzgerald. I mean, clearly Bobby Petrino's a better coach. Fitzgerald's never been in the SEC. He's going to have to learn the type of players he needs, and the type of players he was used to recruiting at Northwestern will not come in and win at Arkansas. They cannot and will not do it. So, Coach Fitzgerald, I think he did really good at Northwestern, but he don't need to come in the SEC. We don't need him in Arkansas. I think he'd be better at Alabama or Georgia, where he could recruit those elite players and pay them. He'd have more money and then put them on defense. You could get away with that there, but you can't do that at Arkansas. You just can't do it, guys. That's the truth. But anyway, Bobby Petrino's the man we got to get. I know he's taken over a dumpster fire. We could have won these games, guys. I mean, just the fact that he's pulled them together and have them be competitive should give him the job. It should already be given to him. If he would have won one or two, hey, great. But anyway, he's the man for us. I totally believe it. I still believe it. He's better than Fitzgerald for sure. All right, guys, that is all I got. I've gone long enough here, and I got to go back over here to stop my video. But I just want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please hit that thumbs up button, and then, hey, subscribe to my channel. I have 424 subscribers, trying to get up to 500. That's my next goal. I have over 300 videos to watch, basketball, football. I got a few baseball ones too. I like to break down players, and I'm a former coach. And so anyway, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you like it, and then please click that bell. You get notifications when I make videos. I'll try to make a video about every day. I try to. I'm a teacher and I get really busy and have kids, so it takes a lot of time there. But anyway, man, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for spending time with me, and hope to see you soon. Leave me a message if I said something incorrectly or I messed up on my numbers. I'm saying it's possible. It's hard looking all that stuff up, but the man for the job is Bobby Petrino. And that's all I got, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day or a great evening whenever you're watching this. And as always, go Hogs.